This is some bullshit. Like, straight up, this is some bullshit. Because, first of all, I was on Google, right? And as I was scrolling down, I saw that a niggas. Okay, so while I was scrolling down Google, right, I saw like a former police officer said that what Derek Chauvin, the nigga who killed George Floyd, that what he did was right, right? And then after that, I did some more research on what's happening with that, right? And a former fucking doctor, wherever it's called, said that my man George Floyd died from a heart, from his heart, right? Basically, he died and it wasn't due to having a knee on his neck, right? So after I was angry about that, I saw something else. And as I was like basically like scrolling across, I heard the name of Dante White, right? And I then, after doing another quick Google search, I found out what happened to him. Thus, I decided to make this video. So in layman's terms, I Googled, I searched, I was enraged, I Googled some more, and then I found this shit. That's all you need to know. So with that being said, let's see what the fuck happened here.
Around 2 p.m. local time Sunday, police pulled over Wright. The police chief says they stopped Dante Wright because he had an expired registration on his license plate.
Okay.
The release footage begins minutes into the stop and shows police walking up to the car, and then Wright is seen stepping out of his vehicle. Police then tried to take Wright into custody after discovering he has an outstanding warrant. The video shows Wright begins to resist as cuffs are placed on him, and he gets back into the vehicle.
Okay, so he is resisting, right? So I understand why the cops feel like they need to use force. So let's get that straight. It would be different if he was not resisting arrest like he was before, and then they shot him, right? But right now, it's right. What you're seeing right now is an escalation, right? It's escalating very quickly, right? It's like a spur of the moment thing, and when something like that happens, I mean, basically anything can go wrong. So you gotta be very careful, and especially when you're arresting somebody and they start refusing arrest, you have to be very careful and not try to let try not to let try not to let your fight or flight response dictate your actions. So you gotta be very careful about that.
As I watch the video and listen to the officer's commands, it is my belief that the officer had the intention to deploy their taser, but instead shot Mr. Wright with a single bullet.
Alright. That's manslaughter. Case closed. Manslaughter. Like, that's all I gotta hear, bro. That's all I gotta hear. It was an accident. Nah, you know what this reminds me of? This reminds me of that movie that me and my family watched. Basically, this dude, right? It's like near the end of the movie where like this dude, he went on a train with his friends, right? And then some asshole cops got onto the train and they pulled him out. I don't know why, I forgot, but they took him off the train, right? And then they put handcuffs. They put handcuffs on him. Then they had my dude on the ground, right? Oh, sorry about this. There we go. And then they had my dude on the ground, right? And my dude, I don't know if it was a struggle. I don't think it was. I don't know. I mean, he might have been like moving around, but they already had him on the ground, right? But then suddenly a bitch ass police officer pulled out a gun and shot him, even though my man was handcuffed. He pulled out a gun and shot him and killed him, right? And when that happened, that police officer killed a man with a wife. That officer killed that man with a girlfriend and a daughter, right? He had a family, right? And then it was later, like near the end, and the officer said that he didn't mean to pull out his gun. He meant to pull out the taser, right? And while I forget how much time he had, it was relatively short. And I know for a fact because near the end, Mike Lemmon was pissed off. So I think he had a relatively short sentence, right? And this is the bullshit I'm talking about. Like, accident or not, it happened and it's your fault. Granted, he shouldn't have resisted. But again, like I said before, you have to be aware of what you're doing at all times, especially when you're armed with a gun, right? And that one split moment of a mistake can lead to somebody's life being taken, such in this case, right? Exactly like this. Let's see what else he's gonna say.
This appears to me, from what I've viewed and the officer's reaction and distress immediately after, that this was an accidental discharge.
Okay.
That resulted in the tragic death of Mr. Wright. The officer is currently on administrative leave.
Wright drove several blocks before hitting another
Administrative
vehicle.
leave. Not arrested, but on administrative leave. Air quotes. Right? See, I don't know. I mean, he might get arrested soon, but I hate when they do this. They always put him like on administrative leave instead of just arresting them outright. I mean, the evidence is literally on camera. That's all you need. It's a manslaughter case. That's basically what it is. And just because you're a cop doesn't mean that the law doesn't affect you. That's why sometimes I feel like cops think they're better than us or something like that. Exactly because of these type of scenarios. When something bad happens, they get to just walk away. But when something bad happens to a regular citizen, they get put behind bars. How the fuck does that make sense? Yeah, I don't care if oh no, it's because they're serving the public, you fucking idiot. Bruh, you can say the same things about veterans. And look what that police officer did to a soldier who I think was on active duty, and look what that police officer did to him. Right? He showed no respect. Right? Granted, in that video, an argument could be made. But that's not my point. If a police officer if a soldier can be put behind bars, so can a police officer. As simple as that. If a soldier can get arrested, so can a police officer. Like I said before in my last video, I think that being a soldier is way harder than being a police officer. Because being a police officer, it's not a walk in the park. That's not what I'm saying. But at least you know what you're getting into half the time. Soldiers, they can just get blown up out of nowhere. Like they can get shot at any time, at any moment, like straight up. No warning whatsoever. You just out of your tent, taking a stroll, bah! Shot in the head, dead. That's basically what happens. I do believe that's the case in several situations of American soldiers actively serving in the military. I do believe that that's the case.
According to police and medical personnel attempted life-saving measures following the crash, but Wright died at the scene.
Oh, commercial.
We're all born with spirit ego.
We don't care.
Wright's mother, Katie, told CNN affiliate Care TV she was on the phone with her son before the shooting. It's unclear to CNN how Katie Wright knew police had hung up the phone. Protests erupted in a...
Oh my God. Bro, I feel so sorry for the family. My condolences goes out to the family. Because no one wants to be put in that type of situation. Right? It's very heartbreaking. And it's very tragic. Especially when it happens to somebody you love and care for. Right? And my condolences go out to the family. And I wish this could have been all prevented. But at the end of the day, that's not how your life is. Life is full of tragedies, mistakes, and death. Why? Because in life, fairness is a myth. At the end of the day, fate don't care. Karma don't care. Death don't care. Heck, sometimes it even feels like God don't care about you. And this, because I heard a noise downstairs, so my mistake. But as I was saying, and this is why you always need to be careful, and you always need to think about things before you do them, especially when it involves police officers. Because you don't know the person behind the badge. And you also don't know what type of person you might be pulling over. So it goes hand in hand. Could this have been prevented? Yes. But at the end of the day, we can only hope that something like this won't happen again. Even though that's highly unlikely.
Suburb outside Minneapolis in the aftermath of the shooting. Hundreds taking to the streets Sunday night, clashing with police. The National Guard was also on the scene. The situation turned violent. Crowds marching toward the police department swarmed police cars and started destroying them.
The police car.
Police moved in to disperse the crowds. The chief of police also said bricks and frozen soda cans were thrown at all.
I gotta go back to my man's work.
Officers, injuring on the scene. The situation turned violent.
Yeah, fuck you,
Crowds
Tar.
marching
Holy
toward
fuck
the
this.
police department swarmed
Fuck
police
you, Tar.
cars
Look at that nigga in
and
the red
started
shirt.
destroying them.
He wild.
Police moved in to disperse the crowds.
He mad.
The chief
As
of
he should
police
be.
also said bricks and frozen soda cans were thrown at officers, injuring one who was taken to the hospital.
I feel like that's unnecessary. Like that, I get that. I understand that you're angry, and you have every right to be, because at the end of the day, something tragic happened, and it can lead to a lot of emotions, right? Especially from the public perspective, right? But violence isn't needed here. At the end of the day, it was an accident. At least that's what they're saying. And even though it doesn't excuse the officer's accidents, and that officer should be put behind bars, like I said, it was still an accident, and thus it's not like the officer wanted to outright kill him. Sorry. The officer didn't want to outright kill him, right? So it is a mistake. A very fucking bad mistake, and a mistake that shouldn't be made in the first place, but a mistake. And just because of one officer's actions, it doesn't, that those actions doesn't one officer's actions shouldn't affect the whole police force. Because, like I said, I do believe there's good cops out there. But I just believe there's like a lot of bad cops. And sometimes those good cops are not really helping to like put those bad cops on notice. So I do believe that they are still responsible, and they are still somewhat to blame for the actions of other officers, because they should have been knew that they should have been knew about their colleagues about their colleagues' potential of escalating the situation, and thus should have done more to prevent it. But instead of speaking out, they just choose to stay silent on the subject. So they are still responsible, in my opinion. But with that being said, this isn't exactly necessary. With George Floyd, I 100% understand. And with I forgot his name, but the person who died due to a police officer putting him in a chokehold, I understand that too, right? I understand every type of those situations, but this right here, I feel like it's kind of uncalled for, because, like I said, it was an accident, and thus shouldn't be taken to this level of anger and resentment, right? I support you protesting, though. I support it 100%. If you're angry and you want the cops to know, go ahead. That is up to you. But I don't believe violence is the scenario I don't believe violence is the type of thing we want to do here. We just need understanding right now. We need to understand one another instead of just lashing out. Because that's all we're doing. A cop's fucked up, there's gonna be rioting. A person fucks up, the cops just arrest them outright, right? And shit like that. What I'm basically saying is, cops and the public are just I feel like are just like constantly going at one another, and it's to the point where no basic understanding can be reached, because we're just constantly butting heads. Now I feel like that doesn't need to be the case 24/7. And it also doesn't help those types of people who just defend the police officers constantly. And it also doesn't help those type of people who constantly berate police officers, even for doing the right thing. So, because of that, there's no understanding can be reached. Can it be reached? I do believe so. This takes a lot of time and effort to do so. But that's just my opinion.
And while one group stayed at the police department,
what the fuck? Oh my fucking god, bro! Why are you doing this? You're not honoring this person's death. You're not honoring Dante. No, I don't think I know how to pronounce his name, but I'm not gonna try to pronounce his name because I'm afraid I'm messing up, because I know his name. I know his name's not Dante. But what I'm basically saying is that these people right here are not honoring his death, because you're not protesting. You're just straight rioting. You're straight stealing. That's what you're doing. You're taking advantage of the situation. I don't like that. Rioting is one thing. Actively stealing is a whole nother matter. That is unacceptable. Unacceptable. And you should feel bad for doing so. But you won't. I guarantee you they won't. But they'll get what's coming to them soon enough. It is what it is.
Protesters went to a strip mall where businesses were broken into and looted.
We recognize that this couldn't have happened at a worse time.
The city of Brooklyn Center is only about 10 miles from where former police officer Derek Chauvin is on trial for the killing of George Floyd. The chief of police says he released the footage to be transparent and became emotional when I asked what was on his heart.
I'm the leader of this department.
Uh-huh.
They expect me to lead.
Yeah.
Create a safe city.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I'm trying to do. So that's it. Okay. And
This is a good man right here. I can tell. He seems like a good guy. He's trying his best, but because of other police officers, it's not really working out. But he's trying his best. And I respect that. Sometimes there's nothing you can really do except try your best. And sometimes people say that your best is not good enough, but I don't believe so. You just can't control what happens, right? And this man right here, he's doing the best. He's doing the best he can, and I respect that. And we need more officers just like him, right? We need plenty more of that.
yeah, I'm emotional.
Adrian, for the officer who shot Daunte Wright, what is their status in the department? Are they still on active?
Wait, his name is Daunte Wright? Okay, so I think actually, so I said his name wrong. I said his name right. Okay, I did say his name right then. Daunte Wright. Okay, yeah, that's how you pronounce it. Yeah.
You do?
The officer.
Like, when I said Dante, I think of like Dante from Far Cry. By far, his name starts with like Dante. But I thought it's like a DU. But this is like a Daunte. So I thought it's like pronounced differently, but I don't think so. Okay.
Who shot Daunte Wright is on administrative leave, but members of the community are calling for her to be fired, and they're also asking, they say demanding, the chief of police in Brooklyn Center resign.
Wright's aunt spoke.
Yeah, do I believe the cops should be fired? Yes, I do believe she should be fired and she should be arrested for manslaughter. Because like I said before, even though it was a mistake, she killed someone. Mistake or not, you took someone's life. And you deserve to be locked up. And a lot of people are going to disagree with me on that. And that's fine. But at the end of the day, if they're not actually doing that, then there's just going to be more, there's just going to be more conflict and back and forth bickering. Because people generally feel that police officers are not being treated as regular citizens when it comes to certain subjects, such as this. If I were to actually do that, if I were to actually kill someone, even though it was an accident, I would have been arrested on the spot. But just because he's a cop, he gets to walk free, at least for now, and that's totally uncalled for. It's not fair. And I know I said earlier that life is not fair, and that's right. But I'm just saying, like, in terms of the entire legal system itself, it's not fair. You know? But that's just my opinion, guys. And with that being said, I'm gonna wrap it up here. I'm gonna see you guys in the next video. So be sure to keep a lookout. And with that being said, see I messed up. Okay, basically, with all that being said, guys, I'll see you next time. Peace.
I'm ready.